Hey, so I have a quick message that I want to share. As I was sitting here at the park, and I was just spending some time with God, God dropped something down in my spirit, and God is so good, and He is so on time all the time. If you don't know God and you don't walk with God, I need you to give Him a try. But what He dropped in my spirit is that He is more concerned with our soul, right? God is more concerned with our soul, making sure that us as believers, and even those that are non-believers that will eventually turn into believers, His concern is to make sure that our soul is saved. God is not impressed with how many tongues you can talk in. God is not impressed with how much spirit you have inside of you. God is not impressed with the titles. He's not impressed with the degrees. He's not impressed with the cars that you drive. Those are not His biggest concerns. He's not impressed with the house that you live in, or the spouse that you have, or what schools your children go to, or how much money you have in your bank account. Those are not God's biggest concerns. He's not impressed with those things because He's giving you those things. So why would He be impressed with those things? Like, we serve a big God. God is not concerned with those things. What God's concern is, and His main concern is that our souls are being saved, right? His main concern is that eventually when we leave this place, that we are coming and will be able to spend eternity with Him. So the things that we believe that God is concerned about, or the things that we believe that impresses God, those things don't impress God. Those things impress man. God is nothing like man. So we believe that these things, that the car that we drive, or the house that we live in, or the job that we have, or how much money we have, or the way that our appearance looks, it impresses God. That's not what impresses God. What impresses God is that your soul is saved. What impresses God is that you are doing the inner work, that you are doing the soul work, so that your soul can be saved. Because once your soul is saved, and once you have done the inner work, all of the things that you are praying and asking for anyway, all of the things that you think that you need actually to impress God or please God, God will give to you. Even though the crazy part about it is you can't take any of those things with you anyway when you leave this place. So God's biggest concern, God's main concern is not the worldly things. God's main concern is not the gifts. God's main concern is not the spiritual things that are inside of you. God's main concern is not the things that you believe that are His main concerns. His main concern is to make sure that your soul is saved. So in this season right now, I need us to stop praying for worldly things and stop praying for things that we believe that will impress God, because we know that they only impress man. Because that's the thing. That is the problem right there. That is the thing. We want things to impress man. When God said, I called you to be in the world, not of the world. So that means that I don't need you to have the worldly things to impress man. What I need is for your soul to be saved. What I need is for you to do inner work. What I need is for you to do the soul work, to do the soul searching, to allow me to root up things that need to be rooted up, that are holding you captive, that are holding you bound, to the point that you can't be free, to the point that you can't actually love correctly, to the point that you can't actually forgive. I'm not worried about, and I'm not talking about me as an this is what the Lord is saying. I am not worried about the worldly things. I am not impressed by those things. I gave you those things. I gave you the gift. I gave you the anointing. I gave you the call. I gave you the church. I gave you the house. I gave you the children. I gave you the car. I gave you the job. Those things do not impress me. What impresses me is that you do the inner work and that you get your soul saved. Once your soul is saved, then I am pleased. Once your soul is saved, I am pleased. God's main concern is that when we all leave this place, that we will be able to hear when we get to them pearly gates, my good and faithful servant, job well done, welcome in. You can't bring them cars with you. You can't bring that house with you. You can't bring your children with you. You can't bring the money with you, but you can bring your soul with you. And your soul is His main concern. Your soul is His main concern. The things that you do in life, the deeds that you do in life, the things that you have, you will not hear my good and faithful servant because of those things. My good and faithful servant, job well done, because you did the inner work so that your soul can be saved. That is what the enemy is after. He is after your soul, but he is getting us so wrapped up in wanting worldly things and wanting us to pray for things that impresses man that don't even impress God. God is not impressed by these little things. We serve a big God. He ain't impressed by this little bit of stuff. What impresses Him is that your soul is saved. And once your soul is saved, you become a clean utensil and a clean vessel for Him to use in the world. And then all those things can be added that you think you need to impress Him. So once again, I just want to say, hey, y'all, God is worried about our soul. He's worried about our soul. So many people are running around out here who's lost their soul. God is more concerned with your soul than He is than anything else in this world, because that's what matters the most, is that souls are saved. Because once your soul is saved, you can go out and you can help another soul be saved. And they can go out and help another soul be saved. And they can go out and help another soul be saved. So God's biggest concern is that our souls are saved.